Listen, please like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel.
Give him all my praises, 'cause he died for you and me.
Bringing awareness to domestic violence. You don't want to miss it, so tune in every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on Facebook. Let's talk.
And that's why I keep praising him, 'cause
Let's talk.
he's so amazing, yes, he's amazing. Give him all
Listen, please like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel.
Tag some of your friends. Tell them to come on in. Got an awesome testimony tonight. Like I said earlier, she is a cancer survivor. And just like you all, tonight is going to be my first time really hearing her journey. And I'm excited to have her come hang out with me tonight. So, all of my regular folks, I need y'all to make her feel at home, make her feel welcome, send her some loves and some hearts and some thumbs ups, so she'll know that we are all one big family here. We are all, y'all my peoples. So if I seem a little bit off tonight, guys, please forgive me. It's been a rough couple of days. Had a rough day at work today. Got home a little later than expected, and things just seem off right now. But we're gonna move forward. I thought about postponing the show tonight, but I decided that I'm not going to do that, because maybe there's somebody that's going to hear this journey tonight that's going to be blessed. So I decided that we're going to go forward in spite of what I feel like, because this too shall pass. Hey, Sharon. So y'all, whoever just coming in, tag some of your friends. Tell them come on in and hang out with us. Share the video. We got an awesome testimony tonight. For the new people, for the first timers, when we're done with the show, go to YouTube and check out my YouTube channel, WarriorShe Room, and subscribe if you don't mind, and share it with some of your folks on your Facebook page, so I can get me some more subscribers. We can get this awareness out to people, this domestic violence awareness, and cancer awareness. And this platform is for us to try to bring awareness on so many different levels and so many different topics. So I think my girl is on here, so I'm going to send her an invite. Sending you an invite. Her name is Denise. Hey, beautiful.
Hey, how are you?
Girl, look at you. You look like a movie star.
Listen, when I come to people's platforms, I gotta be coming looking right, okay? I gotta come correct.
You look gorgeous, girl.
Thank you. I need to turn down my ring light a little bit, but it's okay.
Out there in Texas.
I am good. I'm good, just like you. Today's been an interesting day. But you know what I say? Anytime, that's how you know it's gonna be good, right? When a lot of stuff is thrown at you and it's all disorganized and whatever it may be, you know it's gonna be good. So, you know, the enemy will try to keep you from doing what you need to do. So we're gonna press forward on today, get this message out here and bless some people.
Honey, listen. I mean, I got busy early this morning. And you know, like I said earlier, I was running late. I usually get home on Tuesday around 4:15, 4:30. I was running late getting home. Everything just felt off balance. Everything just felt like, you know, like it. Then I got here and things just ain't been right all day long. And I'm like, God, then my arm started hurting out of nowhere. I kid you not. Like this excruciating pain in my arm, and I'm like, okay, God, I gotta cancel this thing because my arm hurt now. But then I was like, you know what? I was sitting there, and about 6 o'clock, I should get up and put on some clothes. Somebody needs to hear whatever's getting ready to happen tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pressing forward, no matter what Rebecca feel like.
Yes.
Yeah, we
That's
gonna get.
right.
We're going to get this word out, this awareness out, and the goodness of God, and we're just going to do it. We're just going to do it. How you been, sweetheart?
I have been good. I've been blessed. I've been good. I've been good despite, all those little things that's been happening here in Texas. I always, try to find the silver lining and everything, but I've been good.
Wonderful. You know, we've been praying for you guys out there
Thank you so much.
mightily. And that God would turn all of that thing around for you guys out.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is your first time on the platform. And like I said earlier, I don't know a whole lot about the journey. I just know Rodney told me you got to talk to her. She has a powerful testimony. And so on this platform, I don't do a whole lot of asking questions. You know, I might come in and we'll do some dialogue if the Holy Spirit leads. But normally, I'll allow my guests to come on and you tell your journey in your words, whatever God allow you to tell. And then after you do that, I'm gonna let you tell us what you got going on now, because I know you got some good stuff going on. I've been watching you on Facebook, some encouraging stuff going on. So um, I know that you are a cancer survivor, but I'm gonna let you tell the journey. I'm gonna let you tell your story.
Okay. All right. Okay, so who am I? Okay, y'all see on the Facebook, I have my middle name there and it says Denise, but I am also known as Dr. Dominique or Dr. Dom. And that is right. I call myself a cancer warrior. I play with both terms, but I call myself a cancer warrior. I'm a cancer warrior. I'm also a sickle cell warrior as well. I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer December 18th of 2019. For me, it was a very rare diagnosis because one, my age. At the time that I was diagnosed, I was 32 years old, going on 33, which is actually, they say it's considerably young actually to be diagnosed with ovarian cancer. But let's talk about the events that led up to my official diagnosis. So I am also an educator. So I'm an athletic director for girls basketball, and then also an educator at a school. Okay. So I was going to school like any other day, and I started to have some abdominal pains. Mind you, I just finished, going through my menstrual. So I was like, okay, maybe that's aftermath, whatever. I have, been diagnosed with fibroids, so maybe it's just that. So I ignored it. I continued to, we tend to push through. There's signs that seem to be there, but we just tend to push through. So I pushed through and just kept going. And then they got really, really intense. And I said, man, this don't feel, like the normal aftermath, so to speak. So I went to the restroom and I realized that I had, some blood in my underwear. And I was like, okay, it wasn't a lot, it was a little. So again, I'm still just thinking like, okay, this is just regular, stuff going on. From the moment that I walked from the bathroom back to my office, which is not a very far distance at all, I was hunkered over in pain. Like I couldn't even stand up straight. It was a burning sensation. The way that I described it is like, it's almost like there were people inside of my body, like fighting over my organs or something. It was very, very uncomfortable. And I still was going to just continue to push through. Like I didn't want to tell my coworkers what was going on, but one of my coworkers happened to walk into my office. Interesting, because she never goes this way to go to her office. But today she happened to go this way to go to her office. So she comes to my office. She said, hey, coach, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm fine. It's just, some pains, maybe something I ate or something like that. I'll be all right. She said, no, let me go get the nurse. So I said, no, you don't have to go get the nurse. So I went back to the restroom again. This time I went to the bathroom. It literally was like if somebody cut me, and I was just gushing out blood. Okay.
Ooh.
So in my mind, I was like, wow, this is serious. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I don't know what this is. I thought maybe I was passing a cyst or something like that. So the nurse, she gets me and we go to the nurses hub at our school, and she's like, you have to go to the emergency room. I'm thinking like, I don't got time to go to no emergency room. I got stuff to do. This is my mindset. I got stuff to do after school. There's other things that I have going on. I don't got time to go to emergency room. Can you give me some ibuprofen? Like, this is what I'm saying. Even though all this stuff is going on with my body, I'm asking for ibuprofen, right? And so then she said, I can't let you just have ibuprofen. You really need to go to the emergency room. So she calls my emergency contact, which is my sister. She's my best friend, but more so like my sister. And she says, hey, I'm putting Coach Simmons on restriction. She can't leave campus unless you pick her up and take her to the emergency room. So I'm like, okay, my sister gonna come. I'm just gonna tell her to take me home and let me sleep it off. So, I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna do. And she's like, no, we're going to the emergency room. I was getting so irritated because I'm like, I don't need to go to the emergency room. I just need to sleep it off. I'm okay. I'm fine. Y'all over exaggerating. So here I am, go to the emergency room. They do ultrasounds and they couldn't really get clear pictures because my uterus area was so filled with blood. They couldn't really see what was going on. So they said, hey, you're going to have to follow up with your OBGYN. We'll give you some pain meds to help you, help with the pain. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going home. I got things to do. I go home from the emergency room. I have my pain meds and just, I took them so I can be comfortable so I can go to sleep. So, I continue going through my regular life and I'm like, I'm not really going to follow up with the OBGYN. I'm just going to keep going. I'm fine. The next day I wake up, I'm not bleeding. Things are back to normal. So I continue to just go through normal life. Well, I started having some pains again and the bleeding was heavy and I was clotting and there was a lot of stuff going on. Again, I didn't want to tell anybody. So I was going through this by myself. I didn't even want to call my mom, didn't want to say anything. At the time, my grandma is going through cancer as well, ovarian cancer. And so I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't want to tell my mom this because she's already, with my grandma who was at the time preparing, her last final stages. We just watched her go through the stages. And so I'm like, man, I don't want to burden my mom with this. I don't know what this is. So I decided to go to the OBGYN. Go to the OBGYN, found out that there was a tumor and there was a mass there. I'm thinking like, oh, it's nothing. It's nothing. They're just going to tell me it's nothing. Well, I got the phone call. It's a horrible wait. The anxiety that I had waiting just because I know that this is something that runs in my family. But I'm thinking like, oh, my age is going to save me. I'm young, so it's not going to be me. It's not going to happen. And so I finally get the phone call and they say, hey, we want to talk to you in person. So I'm like, oh, they want to talk to me in person. Well, what's that mean? So I go to my OBGYN, talk to them in person, say, we want to let you know that you have ovarian cancer. And I'm thinking to myself, ovarian cancer? Like, nah, you got the wrong file. And I'm doing this the entire time. I'm like, no, you got the wrong file. That's not me. You sure? They're like, yes. I was like, what's the name on the file? Like, and they told me, and they was like, you have ovarian cancer. These are your options. These are the things that we need to begin to do. And I'm just thinking like, what? So I left that doctor's appointment again, very confused because here I am thinking that I'm just off limits because of my age. I take care of myself. I eat well. So, none of this stuff is supposed to be happening to me. So nonetheless, that for about a month, I was going through chemotherapy treatments and things by myself. I hadn't told anybody that I was going through this because, again, I was still trying to process what they just told me. And just watching my grandma's journey, I was like, I don't know what this means for me. Am I going to die? Like, I have all this life left, right? So I went through chemotherapy by myself for a month before I actually shared, with my best friend and other people. But all during this time, they watched me. I lost weight. My hair was starting to, thin, but I was just covering it up, So I actually was starting to work out more or pretend to work out so that the weight loss and stuff would match, I guess, with what I was doing, right? And so I just continued to go through chemo. As I was going through chemo, they tell you that this is something to help you get better. But for me, I felt like things were getting worse. I actually lost my ability to walk. The chemo began to attack my right limb. So Am I right? Uh-oh. Am I still on?
Yeah, you still on.
Oh, okay. I don't know what's happening in the background for me.
Sound like you had an emergency alert.
Yeah, and now I'm getting some weird feedback. Oh no.
I hear a little something, but not
Yeah, I got an
anything like that.
emergency alert, but now I'm getting feedback. Like I can hear. Oh, okay, I think it fixed itself. Okay,
Okay.
we're back. Okay. Uh-oh, hold on.
Okay.
I'm
Take
sorry.
your time. Oh, no apologies needed. Take your time.
Maybe I just need to reconnect these.
While she's resetting some things, guys, let me say welcome to all of you new people that I have never seen before on the platform with us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out with us. We hope this is not going to be your last time hanging. We're here every Tuesday night. Um,
All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you well.
Okay, I may have to do without this because I'm getting like feedback and stuff in these.
Okay.
But you can hear me well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can hear you
Okay.
fine.
All right, so just I began to lose mobility in my right limb. Okay, and the chemo was attacking my leg, so my leg was swollen. It looked like I had maybe 3 knees in one. Right, I couldn't bend my leg. I couldn't even stand up. I couldn't walk. At one point, I had to have a walking brace just to help me to walk. I needed help going to the restroom. Mind you, I was a professional athlete. So that was difficult for me because now not only has cancer come, in my body and all this new stuff is happening to me now, I'm losing mobility, meaning that I may not ever be able to play basketball ever again, right? And so I went to the doctor. The doctor told me, said, well, this is probably going to be something that's permanent in your life. And I'm looking like, what do you mean? Well, you may have to walk with a brace and have a brace for the rest of your life just to function. And I looked at the doctor, I said, that's your answer. He said, this is the reality of where you're at. So I continue to go on, continue to have issues with mobility, walking. I couldn't stand for long periods of time. Sometimes I would be at home by myself and I couldn't like move around. So I'm crawling to the restroom. I had accidents, all kind of stuff, just because there was so much stuff going on in my body. And during this time, I'm trying to figure out like, who am I now? I didn't know who I was because
Right.
the person that I knew was somewhere buried underneath the chemotherapy, the loss of mobility, the inability to do everything. So I began to become a person that I felt like that I could not, I couldn't do. So that's how I started to live my life, even in that moment, as a person that could not do, because that's all that was being told. You can't do this. You won't be able to do this. You can't do this. So I was having issues eating. My hair was falling out, so I ended up cutting most of my hair out. I left like this much hair left, whatever the beautician could salvage for me, just to say I had some hair. It was a rough road, very rough. Foods taste different. I couldn't enjoy. It's like I couldn't enjoy life anymore. And it was really, really a tough time. So I went through chemo for about a year, almost a year and a half. And then I was deemed cancer free in January it was actually a year. I was deemed cancer free January of 2020. So, which is a blessing, right? And then I was considered in remission a month after in February because we had tests. A lot of people think the remission journey of cancer is the end all. It's like it's a time that we celebrate, right? Which is a time to celebrate because a person is cancer free. But what I've begun to learn is the remission journey for me was a lot harder than going through chemotherapy, and it is a lot harder because now through my chemotherapy, I gained 40 pounds. A lot of people don't know that there's a such thing as chemo weight gain. So I put on 40 pounds of chemo weight gain because I had so much inflammation and water on my body. I wasn't able to fit some clothes. Like I just was round in the face. I just didn't like what I looked like when I looked at myself in the mirror. So even when I got that cancer-free diagnosis, it was something that I really didn't celebrate, because I'm like, I don't know the woman staring back at me. I've lost so much in this journey, right? And then I'm in remission. So I'm still in remission now, but remission every day is different. So for my first 6 months of remission, I still had mobility issues. I was told that, you'll never work out. You'll never be able to do this again. You'll never be able to lift weights. You just got to find your new norm. I did not want to accept that, right? In life, people will always tell us what we can't do because they're looking on the outside and looking at the physical, right? For me, most of my journey, I had to get in a real spiritual place, and I had to see my journey from God's eyes. Because if I continue to look at it from man's eyes or a physical perspective, I probably wouldn't even be here today, to be honest, right? And so my journey has taught me that, you have to see things from God's perspective, even when it doesn't make sense. You have to continue to see it from his perspective, because he knows all and he knows what the end will be. So once that clicked in my mind, 6 months into remission, I made it a mission of my own to defy the odds. So a lot of people that know me, I have this hashtag that I've used called defying the odds, because every time I went to my doctor's appointment, I wanted them to say, man, you shouldn't be able to do that, but you're doing it, just so I can look them in the eye and say, you don't know who I serve. Right. And so through my remission journey, still a challenging journey, because I, lost taste for food. So chicken is something that I struggle to eat, meat just in general, and, things that I struggle to eat. So my life is forever changed. Things just taste different. I have, some different aches and pains, along with my sickle cell or whatever, but it's something that I'm beginning to redefine who I am every day, aside from chemo. And so now within my journey, just sharing about my testimony, because I decided to go on the journey with Christ and let him use me, and let this be my testimony of hope and what spiritual grit is. I actually just finished my D-League professional women's basketball season in the fall. They told me I would never play basketball again. And I played. Not only did I play, I was one of the leading scorers in our league, and I made it to our all-star team. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like God can do whatever he wants to do. And so I make it now my purpose that everything that I do as a part of my journey in remission, to share my story, to let people know that you will potentially get in a place where you feel like you cannot, and people will say what you cannot do, but you have to find a place within you to where you come face to face with your spiritual man, your spiritual being, and be on that journey and that purpose to know that, hey, we're going to defy the odds, right? Yeah. So I'm also have lost my 40 pounds, my 40 chemo weight gain pounds. Those are gone. And I'm getting back to who I am, to who God says that I am. And I'm embracing the fact that that was a time in life that I had to go through, just so I can be on platforms like this to share hope with others, to empower women, to empower men, to let them know, like, just because you are at one point and place in your life, you're not going to be there forever, right? I had to really change my lens and begin to understand that my journey and the things that I were going through were not for me in that moment, right? A lot of times we become selfish and think that it's really about us. It wasn't even about me. There was women on the other end of that watched that were going through things similar to me, that I helped them come up out of their dark place, help them move through and continue to move through their, cancer journey. So that is my journey from chemo, to remission to where I am now. I always say, if I wouldn't have went to school that day, because I really was going to take the day off, I probably would have got my diagnosis a lot sooner, and who's to say what would have happened.
Did you just say you just finished playing basketball, professional basketball, in the fall?
Yeah, I sure did.
When you and I were texting and we were trying to get the date locked in, and you were saying that you had practice with the girls, basketball practice, I thought you were talking about you're coaching high school.
So I was talking
I
about
didn't
both.
know you were actually playing.
I was talking about both. So I do coach high school girls too, but I also play.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
You don't look like you've been through anything.
Oh, I have. And every day is, like I tell people, every day is different because, like I said, I'm a sickle cell warrior as well. So with sickle cell comes chronic pain, inflammation, and each day is different. So just having those two things on top of each other, my journey was a lot, I feel it was a lot rougher than maybe what it would have been. I have no idea. But each day is different. Some days I spring up, pop up out of bed. Some days it takes me a little bit longer to get going. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I really am thankful. And a lot of people say, you don't look like the things that you've been through. And I say, because God preserves. Once I got my mindset together, and once I said, okay, we're going to do this together, you and me, God, it preserved a lot. It preserved a lot.
Yeah, your skin is glowing. I mean,
Thank
you're just radiant. You don't look like. If I hadn't known that you were a cancer survivor, and I'm just finding out that you're sickle cell as well, I would have never thought that. Even just watching your videos on live, when you go live, your energy level is just like woof, and your skin is just always so beautiful and glowing.
thank you. Well,
You are.
what I learned is, especially going through the cancer, I thought that I was this over the top healthy person, especially as a college athlete, professional athlete. But what I learned was that I was eating and all this kind of stuff. We're not taught a lot of things, right? So for me, I had to really change how I begin to eat. Even with my treatment team, which I was so thankful for, we did a lot of naturalistic ways of wellness throughout my journey. And I really, really, really believe that the chemotherapy and other things were able to take because I really focused on what I was putting in my body, how I was eating, the alkaline, all that kind of stuff. So I really attribute a lot of that to my skin and how it looks now, because I do have pictures of what it looked like when I was going through chemo. It was not pretty. I already have, dealt with acne and all that kind of stuff. So I wasn't sure what my skin was going to be look like once it was all said and done. But I
Right.
attribute a lot of that to just learning the proper nutrition and the things that, that should be going into our body to help our body naturally fight off disease and so forth. So I right now I would say I'm like really a naturalistic person. That's the thing. As far as like the soaps that I use, how I eat, I do my best to not eat, fast food and processed foods. And it really does make a difference for my body, because a lot of people ask me like, well, how are you able to thrive and do all these different things? And I attribute it to my, my health regimen, things that I do.
Wow. Are you on a lot of meds now?
I am on 0 medications. 0. I take 0 medications, and people do not believe it. I do not even take pain meds for my period every month. I do everything natural.
Really?
Yes. Yes. The CBD oil, CBD rubs, I use a lot of that, but I don't no pain meds. 0.
I've been hearing a lot about the CBD oils. Um, I think I'm gonna try it. Um,
It's good. I like it.
I'm on this weight loss journey that I've been on for about a month, and some days, like today, I get discouraged. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to stay focused, just stay focused on the journey, on the process, because I want all the weight to go away like right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to get my mind set that I didn't gain it all in a month. Um, and for you to come back and lose that 40 pounds like you've lost it, and I'm talking about in less than a year,
Mhm.
girl, we got to talk off camera.
Yeah, we do. We do. What I've learned is this, even if it's a weight loss journey, life journey, whatever journey that you're on, you have to get to a place where you give yourself grace, right? A lot of times
Right,
we want things to happen quickly. And just like you said, it takes us a while to get where we are. So in order for us to get the results, sometimes it takes us a while, especially if we're doing it, the right way, so to speak. So I think it comes to a point where you just realize that, hey, I'm not perfect. I am going to make mistakes. But the thing
right,
is, when I make the mistakes, I'm going to acknowledge the mistake that I made, but I'm going to pick up and just continue going on in my journey, right? My journey has
right.
not been perfect, ever since I've made it, to lose the 40 pounds. Some days I didn't want to do it, so I didn't do it. Some days I wanted some pizza, so guess what? I got me some pizza. But what I had to do is I had to dig deep down inside of myself and say, you know, be disciplined. Like, what does it mean to really be disciplined and really focus on why am I doing what I'm doing, right? Losing weight and being on journeys, they don't have to be boring. Those things can be fun.
You know,
We can spice them up. We can spice them up and, do different things and so forth. So for me, it's really about just giving yourself grace, knowing that you're going to make mistakes, acknowledge the mistake, but continue and be ready to keep pushing forward to your goal.
yeah, and that's what I just try to stay focused, because I went to the doctor about a month ago and had a health scare. And I'm one of those people, I'm 57 years old and I don't take any medicine other than allergy medicine. I don't even like taking Tylenol. So when I went to the doctor a little over a month ago and my blood pressure was elevated a little bit, that right there, I was like, okay, I got to change this. I got to get rid of the weight because I gained 20 something pounds, close to 30 pounds since the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to get rid of this. I got to change this thing. Um, I'm not, I got to get rid of the weight. So I don't want to come back. And then now, you got blood pressure problems.
Right.
That weight bring on diabetes. It already had brought on fatigue and muscle aches,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I'm like, I gotta change this. So I just made a conscious decision that, you know, I took a lot of things out of my diet, um, went back to taking my vitamins and all of that stuff. But it's been a journey, and some days I get discouraged. I gotta be honest. And I knew you and I were talking in my inbox messenger about it. You were giving me some tips on some things that I actually did, that I
Okay.
actually incorporated. Yeah. So just sitting here listening to you, I'm encouraged to
That's good.
keep going
Glad.
with it. Yeah, I'm encouraged to keep going with it. You know what I mean?
That's good.
So yeah. So I'm like, I can do it. I feel like I can do it now. I feel like I can stay on this weight loss journey and get this thing done.
You can. You can.
And I know we off topic. I know we off topic a little
Oh, you're
bit.
fine.
But you're just you don't look like what you've been through. You're just glowing.
Thank you.
So what are you doing now? I know you have.
So
Go ahead.
So now, well, it's something I've always, I won't say always been doing, but I started a life coaching business about 3 years ago. I finished school and I was like, why not? Because I've been life coaching at the state level and in schools, and was an administrative director and all that kind of stuff. So I launched my own life coaching business 3 years ago called Simmons Life Coaching. And then in June during the pandemic, I decided to launch a brand called Hey Sis and Hey Sir, because what I realized was within our community, the Black and Brown community, we were lacking the knowledge and understanding of what self-care really means. So Hey Sis and Hey Sir is my self-care platform. For the women, it's self-care is sexy. For men, it's the self-care is real. And my focus on that platform is to bring awareness to all things self-care from the emotional standpoint, mental, physical, spiritual, and just the holistic meaning and understanding of what it means for self-care for us. Because I feel like within our culture, we are constantly focusing on being strong or just getting through or just, you know, we just do what we know, right? And I've watched
Right.
my grandma do that. I've watched my mom do that. I've watched my aunts do it. I've even seen myself do it. And it really gets us to the point where we're neglecting ourselves in so many different areas. And then a lot of people think self-care is just the physical piece where they're getting their nails done, their feet done, or, you know, getting a spa treatment. Those are parts of self-care, but self-care is a lot deeper than just that. So I try to do broadcasts at least twice a month where it'll be me and a guest, or I'll have a panel. So this Saturday, I will actually be having a panel discussion, 11:30 Central Standard Time, and we're going to be focusing on trauma and healing, right? Trauma and healing is a part of self-care, because if we neglect trauma and the understanding of healing, then we really can't begin to fully take care of ourselves. So I have my life coaching going on, then my Hey Sis and Hey Sir broadcast that I just started in June because I felt that there was a need. Didn't even think it was gonna, I wasn't sure what it was gonna do, but now it's become something that is big and people want it. And I'm actually working on expanding it out to a live brunch. So it'll turn into a once a month event for a Hey Sis and Hey Sir brunch. And then also on the side, you know, I have a lot of different, I call them side hustles, I guess, just multiple streams of income things that I do just because there's things that I'm passionate about and I have fun, and why not make money while doing them? So I do some jewelry on the side, and then I do health and wellness products also on the side as well. But my main passions, I will say, are my life coaching and then the Hey Sis and Hey Sir brand.
That's amazing. So is that something that you do on Facebook? The Hey
Yes,
Sis, Hey.
So I do it. It's a social media platform, so I do it on Facebook. But people have been requesting, they want me to come off of social media and do it live. So I'm putting together, once we figure out what's going on with this pandemic, to try to have a actual brunch where we have a panel during brunch. We eat, we engage, we ask questions. So having a live audience. So that is something to come. I don't know when, but that is on the list of things to make happen, potentially in 2021, maybe 2022, but we shall see what happens and where it goes.
I'm sitting here listening to you, and it's crazy that you said that because I had a couple of people ask me to do the exact same thing. They want me to do a live show with a guest and have some people have audience, some people come in at audience. And just what I'm doing right here, they want me to do a live show.
You should do it.
Have audience come in, and then we can do a question and answer at the end of it. And I'm like, okay, all right, God, what you doing? What you doing? Um, so actually, I have been working on that for the last 3 days, 2 days.
That's good.
And that's probably quiet. Um, but that's crazy that you said that.
Confirmation. You need to go ahead and do it.
What's up?
Go ahead and do it.
What? Yeah,
Go ahead and do it.
exact same thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. We'll see what God. Because I've already got like two major events going on this year, and I'm like, okay, God, let me see if I can work it out, and make it happen. But yeah, exactly. That's why I was looking at you like that as you was talking, because I'm like, this is crazy.
That's good. I think you can make it happen. Maybe even do a smaller segment within your big events of what it is, just to kind of bring more awareness to the WarriorShe.
Yeah. It's amazing what God is doing in the middle of this pandemic.
Mm-hmm. I've been blessed
It's,
by it.
I have to. And I tell people all the time, I'm not downplaying it because I know it has affected so many people and we've lost so many lives. But there's so many blessings that has come out of it too.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, some people are coming out of this thing um, in a better place financially than they have before going in.
Yep.
There's a lot of businesses and ministries that's being birthed.
Mm-hmm.
WarriorShe was birthed in the middle of the pandemic. You know, so it's even though it's a very very tragic thing what we're experiencing, um, God is still showing Himself in the middle of it,
Mm-hmm.
and that fascinates me.
Yep.
You know, that truly fascinates me. But your journey is amazing. Your journey is amazing,
Thank you so much.
and I am so glad you chose my platform to come on and tell us about it. That's it's. I know your journey is going to help somebody.
Thank you. Well, I thank you for even inviting me and having me on your platform to be able to share my testimony and my story. So thank you.
Listen, anytime you want to come back, anytime you're doing anything, some updates or whatever, listen, you're welcome anytime.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. And keep being as gorgeous as you are.
Thank you. I try.
'Cause
I try.
you are
Thank
absolutely
you.
beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. I don't even know what time it is that I ain't even ready to get off yet because your journey was just so enlightening. But but thank you, darling. I appreciate you taking the time, and we're gonna continue to be praying for you guys out there in Texas,
Thank you so
and
much.
we'll be talking.
All right. Thank you so much again for having me on your platform. Hope somebody was touched or encouraged by, the words and the message that I had to share today. I'm so glad that we were able to push through and get on and deliver this message.
Yes, yes, it was needed. It was definitely needed.
Hmm.
Thank you, love.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, dear.
Bye.
Wow, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you, honey. Thank you, Denise. I see some folks here on here tonight. I haven't had a pleasure of seeing before. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with us. I don't know what time it is. I don't know if we're a little early. I don't know what. I don't have my watch on tonight. But thank you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. I know her journey is going to help somebody tonight. You are so welcome, Denise. It was my honor and my pleasure to have you come hang out with me tonight. You are such a beautiful soul. And I believe your testimony is going to help somebody that's going to be watching this video. So you guys share the video, tag some friends in it. Um, for those of you who haven't done so, you can go to YouTube, pull up WarriorShe Room, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I also have WarriorShe Room group on Facebook as well. So you can go join that too. But I thank you guys. We are here every Tuesday night. I got another powerful guest coming on next Tuesday to hang out with me. Each week, I try to bring on a guest to hang out with me, allow them to tell their journey. I am myself a domestic violence survivor, but now I'm an advocate. I'm trying to bring awareness to this demon called domestic violence, and my brand is the WarriorShe. And I am WarriorShe. And I thank you guys for always supporting me, hanging out with me whenever I go live. It's just a blessing because I know that you can be spending your time doing something else. I don't take it for granted at all that you choose to hang out with me. So I thank you. I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So next Tuesday night, come back here. We're gonna be back at 7 o'clock, and I have another amazing testimony coming on. So tell somebody who can tell somebody who will tell somebody next Tuesday night at 7. Let's talk. You all have a wonderful evening.